So find a comfortable seated position where you can sit up tall, and you can sit on a chair if you prefer that, and then when we start to move into the yoga postures, you can just come off your chair into your yoga space or your yoga mat, whatever you've got. We'll take a second here just to come to our breath. So you can do that with your eyes opened or closed, but start to breathe a little bit more deeply. And if you can, breathe through your nose. And if you can't, that's okay, breathe through your mouth. But whatever you do, make sure that you're sitting in a position that you can sit up tall without it being hard. So if it's hard for you to sit on the floor and it's very distracting, then go ahead and just sit on a chair or grab something to elevate your hips. So as you begin to deepen your breath, start to notice your breathing pattern. Start to notice the length of your inhales and exhales right now. And as you start to turn your gaze inward, also start to notice the energy that you have right now. The feelings that you have going on in your body, the sensations that you have going on in your body right now. For example, I can feel in my chest, I'm a little bit nervous as I am recording these Facebook Live classes. I can also feel some sensations happening in my pelvis related to a condition I have. So just things like that, like noticing different sensations, different energies within yourself as you breathe. As you inhale, begin to fill first the bottom of your lungs, expanding your belly, then your middle of your lungs, expanding your chest, and then the top of your lungs, you feel your shoulders rise. So expanding not just the front of your body, but the sides and the back as well on your inhale. And as you exhale, feel those parts of yourself sort of fall back into place. Accentuate the exhale by pulling your navel in and up. And then once again, inhale and fill up with breath. And exhale, empty completely. Breathing through your nose, inhale, fill up with breath, make space. And exhale, completely. So again, noticing your breath as you breathe like this, noticing the sensations that you're having. So we have these sensations in our body. We can feel our breath, we can feel our environment. You might have some emotional stuff going on, which isn't surprising. And some mental stuff going on, which also, I almost don't know how you couldn't. So continue to breathe deeply. I want to introduce this concept of Ahimsa as we sit here and come to our breath and really start to embody ourselves. Ahimsa is a concept of non-harm, non-violence. And this is the first limb of Hatha Yoga, found in the Yoga Sutras. It's one of the yamas, one of the restraints. So basically, Ahimsa is telling us as yoga people to practice nonviolence in our lives, and that can look a lot of ways that I'm sure you can imagine. One very common way is for yogis to not eat meat. That's a kind of like a baseline there. Ahimsa, so I don't do any harm, so I don't harm animals to get my food. Now, we could talk about that all day. What I want to talk about is Ahimsa as action, as not something so passive as I'm not going to harm animals that I'll never meet anyways, but I'm going to do no harm by actively putting myself in an uncomfortable position to advocate for those people that have less of a voice in this world. And as we've seen, sometimes that can become a violent process. So I invite you to think about, is it more violent to stay silent, to stay in our comfortable little rural bubble, to not upset those around us that we know have different beliefs, to not have the energy to speak up? Is that really non-violent because we're not confrontational? Or is it more violent? Is it more violent because it's apathetic? Because we're not being true to ourselves and our beliefs? Because we're silencing ourselves? I would say that it's more violent, and you can agree or disagree. But Ahimsa was never meant to mean that we are complacent. Sometimes we have to go out and do things and be a part of things that can result in violence. Continue to breathe deeply, sitting up tall. So to approach this concept, we really need to think about those ways that we can embody the idea of Ahimsa in a very truthful and honest way, and not spiritually bypass Ahimsa and use it as a way for us to not be uncomfortable. We can't have love and light if everybody doesn't have love and light. If we are all one, then we have to act like it. We have to act. We have to become activists. Doesn't have to be big. I mean, there's only so many ways we can do it from where we sit in Port Orford, if you're watching from Port Orford. We can give our donations, we can make our voices heard, and we can be standing in solidarity. I'll give you a moment here. Continue to breathe deeply. Let these words that I've just said kind of sink in. Or really feel them. Allow your thoughts to travel and guide you to the places and examples of which that you have or have not been participating, that you have or have not been practicing the limb of Ahimsa in your yoga practice. Because yoga is not just poses. The real practice of yoga is much larger than that. Before we begin to move, I want to teach you a chant that I love. It's the Gayatri Mantra. It's only a short part of it because the Gayatri Mantra is actually really, really long, and I have not memorized it all, and I may never. But there's a seed mantra in there that I can teach you. And basically the meaning is, may all beings be happy and free. May my thoughts, actions, and feelings contribute to that happiness and freedom. So I'm going to say the words, and then you can say them back. So I'll say it one at a time, and then you say it, and then we will chant it 3 times and finish with the Om. So the first word is Loka. So Loka, now you say Samasta, now you. Sukhino Bhavantu. Okay, so together 3 times. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Now Om, take a deep inhale. You can open your eyes. Okay. Move your props if you have any to the top of your mat to use them later. And then child's pose at the end of your mat. Bring your big toes together. Take your knees wide. Stretch your upper body forward. And place your forehead on the floor. And continue to breathe deeply through your nose. Just tune into your thoughts and feelings right now. And let them be big. Let yourself experience them. Next time you inhale, come up onto your hands and knees, but keep your knees wide, look forward. And then as you exhale, push back to child's pose, and we'll go back and forth a couple times. Inhale, coming forward. Exhale, push back. Use your hands, push down and forward to bring your hips back to your heels. And then inhale, coming forward. Exhale, push back. Inhale, forward. Exhale, push back. Inhale, forward. Exhale, push back. Inhale, come forward to your hands and knees. This time, take your knees directly underneath your hips. Hands a little wider than shoulder distance apart. Spread your fingers wide. And instead of cat-cows here, drop your tummy and your chest toward the ground. So your shoulders kind of rise up by your ears, your butt lifts. And then move your chest over and your belly over to the right. Lift it up and around, and then drop back down to the left. So we're going to do circles with our abdomen. And really feel into the circles. Feel how your body is moving. Really spread your fingers out. Push your fingers down to support your wrists. And let your spine roll in circles side to side. You can let your head kind of relax here. Let your neck relax and sort of just be moved by the movement. And then go into circles in the opposite direction, lifting up and over. Breathing deep breaths. Nice long inhales and exhales as you move. Let your hips move, shoulders move. Okay. Tuck your toes underneath your feet and then sit back on your heels and do a few wrist circles here. If you have trouble sitting on your heels, if the bottom of your feet hurts too much, you could always stand on your knees. And then go in the opposite direction. Okay. Downward facing dog pose. Place your hands a little wider than shoulder distance apart. Spread your fingers wide. Tuck your toes underneath your feet and push the floor away from you as you lift your hips. Keep your knees bent and start to walk in place a little bit. Breathing deeply, feet hip distance apart as you move. And then start to use those steps to walk forward toward the back of your hands. Keep your knees bent. Inhale, lift up halfway, look forward. Exhale, fold over your legs, let your head hang. Inhale, reach your arms out and up as you stand up. Bring your palms together overhead and look up. And exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Press your thumbs into your heart into your thumbs, and stand tall here in your activism. So we need strength to have the hard conversations. We need to be grounded in our truth. See if you can start to embody that now. Reach up and just feel yourself strong, knowledgeable, and in control. And then exhale, bend your knees, place your fingertips on the floor, let your head hang and bow to yourself. To that innate wisdom that lives in you. Inhale, lift your chest, look forward. Exhale, step back to plank pose. You can place your knees on the floor here for extra support. Look forward, take a deep inhale. Sometimes we do need that extra support. Then as you exhale, lower your knees and then drop yourself down all at one time. Bend your elbows, hug them in as you lower. Flip your feet. Inhale, curl your chest up, draw your shoulders back as you look up for baby cobra. Exhale, push into your hands and knees, tuck your toes, and go back to downward facing dog, where you can still have your knees a little bent here. Walking in place. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, hop or step to the top of your mat, feet hip distance apart. Inhale, lift your chest and look forward. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, reach out and up. Bring your palms together overhead and look up. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Press your thumbs into your heart into your thumbs. And once again, find yourself. Take your hands onto your lower back, right above your butt with your fingers pointing down, and squeeze your elbows towards each other. As you inhale, lift your heart up and lean back just a little bit. Pelvis forward, heart back, stretch the front of your chest. Take a deep breath. Good, and as you exhale, fold all the way down. Place your fingertips on the floor. Inhale, lift your chest, look forward. Exhale, step your right foot back and bring your right knee to the ground. If you have a blanket, you might pad your knee if you have sensitive knees. Inhale, reach your arms up. Look up. Good. And then exhale, bring your hands down and step back to downward facing dog. Take a deep breath here. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, hop or step forward, feet hip distance apart. Inhale, lift your chest, look forward. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, reach out and up. Bring your palms together, overhead look up. Exhale, bring your thumbs to your heart again with your hands together. Stand tall, stand proud. Inhale, reach out and up. Bring your palms together, overhead look up. Exhale, fold over your legs, bow to yourself. Inhale, lift your chest, look forward. Exhale, step your left foot back, bring your left knee down for low lunge. Inhale, reach your arms up, look up. Exhale here. Inhale. Exhale, bring your hands down, step back to dog. For those of you that have tighter hamstrings, just know that you never have to straighten your legs here. You can do a little personal ahimsa by honoring your hamstrings and not trying to pull them by straightening your legs forcibly. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, hop or step forward. Inhale, lift your chest, look straight ahead. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, reach out and up as you stand up. Palms together. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Press your thumbs into your heart, heart into your thumbs. Stand tall. Bring your feet together. And bend your knees. Interlace your fingers behind your back. And pull your hands away from your back. Squeeze the bottom tip of your shoulder blades together. Take a deep inhale, lift your heart, look up. And as you exhale, fold forward, bring your forehead towards your knees. And breathe here. Nice deep breaths. Take another long, slow breath. Place your hands on your hips. Inhale, lift up halfway. Stay in chair pose with your legs. And as you exhale, step your right foot back so that you're in a lunge with your right heel over the ball of your right foot. Your chest is hanging forward here, not really hanging, but leaning. Bring your right knee to the floor and lift your chest up. Squeeze your elbows towards each other, lift your heart, look up and breathe. And take another deep breath. Good. Once again, lean your chest forward, lift your back knee up and take a big step forward. Bend your knees, interlace your hands behind your back, pull your hands away from your back. This time, take the opposite fingers on top, bow towards your knees. Big, deep breaths. Place your hands on your hips, squeeze your elbows in. Inhale, lift halfway up. Exhale, step your left foot back, bring your left knee down. Squeeze your elbows in. Inhale, lift your heart, lean back and breathe. And take another long, slow breath here. Okay, leaning forward, lift your back knee up, take a big step forward back to chair. Inhale, this time reach your arms up. Exhale, stand all the way up, bring your arms to your sides. Stand tall, lift your sternum, your heart, and draw your tailbone toward the floor. Inhale, reach up, gather up your energy, bring your palms together, overhead, look up. And exhale, separate your feet hip distance, fold forward, bend your knees. Inhale, lift your chest, look forward. Exhale, step back to plank pose. Inhale, plank, look forward. Exhale, lower all the way down to the floor, however you choose to get there. Inhale, curl up for baby cobra pose. And exhale, push back to downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right leg up behind you, and it doesn't matter how high. Lift it up, and then turn your right toes out to the right. Bend your right knee, and then lift that knee up even higher. Look underneath your right armpit, and breathe. Push your hands down and forward. Press your left outer thigh straight back. So this right leg is going to step forward to the outside of your right foot. Start to bring your right hip down. Step forward as far as you can to the outside of your right hand, not foot. Good. Now from here, inhale, lift your chest. Look forward, let your hips drop. And then exhale, push down and forward into your right heel. Start to straighten-ish that right leg. Bow. Inhale, lift, open your heart, look up. Exhale, bow. Couple more times. Inhaling. Exhale. Use your foot, push down and forward into your foot to help you straighten your leg. Inhale, bend again. Exhale, push down and forward. One more time. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. This time, inhale, come forward. Push into your hands. And you're going to take that right foot back again and into your chest. So your right heel is pulling in towards your hip. Push down into your hands. Push all the way back to down dog, three-legged dog. Lift your right leg up again. And then step your right foot down next to your left. Inhale, lift your left leg up, bend your left knee, open that left hip. Push down and forward into your hands. Press your right outer thigh straight back. Really using your hands here, pushing down and forward, press into your fingertips. Squeeze your inner elbows towards each other. And then look forward, step your left foot to the outside of your left hand. So bring your left hip down, and then bring your left foot forward, step to the outside. From here, inhale, let your hips drop, lift your heart, look up. Exhale, push with your foot and your hands down and forward to straighten your left leg. Inhale, let your hips drop, lift your chest, look up. Exhale, push down and forward with your hands and your foot. And keep breathing and moving, inhaling and exhaling. So we're just going from folding in, gathering our energy, to back bending, making ourselves vulnerable again. We get through these processes of helping others heal. We become the healer only when we can heal ourselves, only when we are vulnerable, but also able to make boundaries and to sort of be able to know the practices that help us rest and restore so that we can be better allies, so we can be more brave. Okay, one more time, come forward. Really push into your hands and your foot. Push as hard as you can. Lift your belly, tuck your tail, and then lift that left foot off the floor. Bring your left thigh to your chest. Push down and forward with your hands. Come back to three-legged dog for a moment. Lift your left leg high. And then step your left foot down. Bring your feet so that they're hip distance apart. Look forward. Inhale, bend your knees. Exhale, hop or step to the top of your mat. Just get as close as you can. Inhale, lift your chest, look forward. And exhale, fold. Inhale, reach out and up as you stand up. And exhale, bring your arms to your sides. Bring your feet together. Inhale, bend your knees as you reach up into chair pose. Exhale, interlace your hands behind your back and fold forward towards your knees. Inhale, lift your chest, look forward, keep your hands bound. Exhale, step your right foot back into high lunge. Now, to modify here, you could either take your feet further apart, mat width-wise, or bring your back knee down. Try to keep your left knee directly over your ankle. As you inhale, lean your chest back. Keep your hands pulling away from your back. And as you exhale, fold forward towards your thigh. You don't have to come that far forward, or you can come all the way to the inside of your thigh. And then inhale, lift back up. Look up. Exhale, come forward. And keep going. Inhaling. And exhaling. So Hatha yoga, means to unite with violence. So yoga being union. We have Hatha, the sun and the moon. When we bring these things together, they don't necessarily want to come together. We have to use our power to make them come together, to make the ends fit. We have to show up. We have to do our practice, and we even have to do the things that we really don't want to do because they're going to make us uncomfortable. But this is Ahimsa. Ahimsa through action. One more time. You're going to pull back. I know your front leg is getting tired. You're going to bring your back heel down, turn your back toes out. And for a moment here, warrior two. Reach your arms out to the side. Look over your front fingertips. And so we have to really cultivate this warrior attitude when we're working with these energies, right? Ahimsa in action is much harder than Ahimsa as spiritual bypassing. Take another breath. Straighten your left leg. Bring your right hand down to your right thigh, turn your left palm up, and stretch back. Really stretch. Push into your left heel and stretch away with your left hand. And then triangle pose, Trikonasana, come forward. You can either place your hand on your thigh, shin, or to the outside of your thigh on the floor or the block. Reach up with your right arm. Look at your right thumb. And breathe. Love to think about the arms as an extension of the heart. When we open our arms, right? We let ourselves be vulnerable so that we can receive love. Hard to do that with your arms guarding your heart. Take another breath. Awesome. Start to look down. Bend your left knee over your ankle. Place your hands on the floor and either do your plank to the floor for Cobra or step right back to down dog and skip all that. Inhale for Cobra if you're taking it. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a deep inhale and exhale here. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, hop or step forward. Inhale, lift your chest, look ahead. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, reach out and up as you stand up. Bring your palms together overhead and look up. And exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Press your thumbs into your heart into your thumbs. And ground into your feet. Ground into all that you already know and all that you're willing to learn. Bring your feet together. Interlace your hands behind your back. This time, switch the clasp. Put opposite fingers on top. Pull your hands away from your back as you sit down again into chair pose, Utkatasana. Take a deep inhale, lift your heart. And then exhale, fold forward over bent knees. Bring your head toward your knees. Keep your hands lifting high, away from your back. And sometimes when we're trying to help others, it can feel like our hands are tied behind our backs, like we're not much help at all. But showing up and listening is a big help. Being another body in the room, saying that, hey, we're here for each other. That's big. Inhale, lift your chest, look forward. Exhale, step your left foot back. Come into high lunge. And then inhale, lift your chest, look up. And Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, fold. Remember, you don't have to come as far down as I'm going. You can go just a little bit down and really honor the energy that you have today, the strength that you have today. You know, it's good to meet people from where we're at. If we haven't cultivated the strength within ourselves, the boundaries, the vulnerability, then we're not going to be able to show up at that level for other people. So we have to really honor ourselves. A couple more of these, humble warriors. Big, deep breaths. Breathe into the discomfort. No, it always ends. Last time, lift yourself up. Bring your back heel down so that your back foot's parallel to the back of your mat, front knee over your ankle, and then reach your arms out to the side for Virabhadrasana 2. Look over your front fingertips and breathe. Stand strong in your legs. Nice deep breath. Feel your heart beating. Feel the warmth that you've generated through action. One more long breath. Okay, begin to straighten your right leg. Good, and then lean back and take a big stretch here. Push into your right heel and stretch away with your right hand. And breathe. Take another long, slow breath. And then reach up and over to come out and into Trikonasana. Either bring your right hand to your right thigh, shin, or hand to the floor. So take the variation that makes it so that you can stay breathing, so that you still feel strong, and the pose isn't taking you over. You're doing the pose isn't doing you. Look up at your top hand. We'll try to lengthen your spine a little more. Press into your feet, lift your knees. Keep your foundation strong. Take another long, slow breath. And start to bend your right knee. Bring your left hand down. Step back to down dog and skip the vinyasa or plank to the floor to Cobra Pose. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, hop or step forward. Feet hip distance apart. Inhale, lift your chest, look forward. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, reach out and up as you stand up. Bring your palms together overhead, look up. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart and pause for a moment here. Take another deep inhale and exhale. Okay. Balancing pose. Bring your feet together. Eagle pose, Virabhadrasana. Bend your knees. Cross your right leg over your left. You can keep your right toes on the floor if that helps with balance. And then reach your arms out to the side. Turn your palms up. And reach your arms out in front of you. Cross your right arm over your left. Bring your hands towards your face. And then turn your left hand to touch your right. Lift your elbows up. Take your forearms forward and breathe. You might be able to lift those right toes off the floor even for a moment. Maybe you can easily balance here. You might tuck your right toes behind your left shin. Take another long, slow breath here to eagle pose. Maybe sit a little lower. And then unwind your arms, unwind your legs. Once again, this time cross your left leg over your right. And you can keep your left toes on the floor for balance. Take your arms out to the side, turn your palms up. Reach your arms forward. Cross this time your left arm on top of your right arm on top of your left. Bring your hands towards you. Lift your elbows and take your hands forward. You might lift those left toes off the floor. If you've got that, you might try to tuck them behind your left calf. And then start to sit a little lower. Lift your elbows, take your hands forward, breathe deeply. Good, another long, slow breath. Release your arms, release your legs. Stand at the top of your mat. Feet hip distance apart. Inhale, reach your arms out and up. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Take a deep breath. Exhale, begin to fold forward, bend your knees, place your fingertips on the floor. Inhale, lift your chest, look up. Exhale, step your right foot back and bring your right knee down. Take your left hand to the inside of your left foot, palm or fingertips on the floor. If you have got a block, you place it underneath your hand and then stretch your right arm up. Turn your chest more to the right. Tuck your chin slightly and put your tailbone, or squeeze your tailbone in towards your right sitting bone. Turn your right hand to face behind you and place the back of your right hand on your left hip. So this is a half bind. Okay, this might be where you stay breathing. This is a big stretch for most of us, and so this is a nice place to begin and maybe to stay. Otherwise, you might go for the full bind. Bend your left elbow and get low to the inside of your left thigh. Reach underneath you and try to find your hand. And if you cannot find your hand, you can either press your hands into your hip and low back, or stay, like I said, with your left hand on the ground and right hand just pushing into your back. So breathing here in the bind. We've done a lot of shoulder stretching to get us here. And this pose takes bravery, even the half bind. And it takes commitment. Yeah. It takes all of the things that we need to practice to be good yogis, to live in our Ahimsa. Another breath. Awesome. Turn, look down, and bring your hands down to the ground. Lean to the right a little so you can step your left foot back more easily. And come all the way to the ground. Place your hands down next to the sides of your ribs. Squeeze your elbows in. Press the top of your feet down, and as you inhale, do Cobra Pose. So Cobra, you could be baby Cobra with your elbows just barely straightening, or if you're feeling more flexible, you might be able to straighten your arms. Pubic bone on the floor, thighs on the ground. Your legs are not lifted. Press the top of your feet down. You might even lift your chin a little bit and look up. And like I said, this can be closer to straight arms or elbows very bent. You don't even have to use the strength of your hands. Just curl your chest up. Now tuck your chin. Lift your chest and belly at the same time. Step back to down dog just for a moment. Stretch, lift your hips, push your hands down and forward. And then walk toward the back of your hands. Inhale, lifting halfway up, look forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, stretch your arms out and up as you stand, take up space. And as you exhale, bring your hands to your heart, stand tall and proud. Inhale here. Exhale to Uttanasana, forward bend, fingertips down. Inhale, lift halfway up, look forward. Exhale, step your left foot back and bring your left knee down for a kneeling lunge. Take your right hand to the inside of your right foot. Turn your chest open to the left. Lift your left arm up. Tuck your chin slightly and squeeze your sitting bone, your left sitting bone in towards your right inner thigh. The left side of your tailbone in towards your left sitting bone. Now start to turn your left hand to face behind you. Bring the back of your hand to your left hip. And you're in a half bind. You might stay here, especially if you have never practiced binds before, or if this is already pretty difficult for you. It's a good place to stay. Okay? One more breath. So to go further, bend your right elbow. Get low to the inside of your right thigh. Reach your right arm underneath you and try to find your left hand. Clasp your hands together. If that's too much for you, go back to the previous arm position. One is not better than the other, except for the fact that the one that you can do is going to be better for you. Make sure you can breathe. If you can't breathe, then figure out a way to make yourself more comfortable so that you can breathe. If you can't breathe, how can you help somebody else breathe? Take another long, slow breath here in the bind. Be brave in the bind. We're going to start to look down. Bring your hands down and step your right foot back. Lower all the way to the ground. And we'll do Cobra Pose again. Place the top of your feet on the floor, hands next to the sides of your ribs, forehead down. Press the top of your feet down, squeeze your elbows in, and start to curl your chest forward and up. And you might just stay just using the strength of your back, not even really using your hands. Or if you've got a deeper back bend, after being so warmed up, you might start to straighten your arms. But keep your pubic bone, your thighs, and the top of your feet down. Toenails pressing into the ground. You can look straight ahead or lift your chin slightly and look up. One more breath in Cobra Pose, Bhujangasana. Push into your hands and knees strongly. Lift your belly and your chest at the same time. Good, and then rock back. Bring your big toes together for Child's Pose, Balasana. Stretch your arms forward and place your forehead on the ground. Return to your deep breath if it somehow left you. Return to feeling the feelings that you're having. So staying low to the ground, walk your hands over to the right. We'll do a side bend here. And place your left palm on top of your right hand and stretch. Deep inhales and exhales. So something interesting to point out is that the Yoga Sutras, where the 8 limbs of yoga are found, and Ahimsa is found in the Yamas. That book, it's not really a book. Let's start to go over to the left side. It's more like a guide. Place your right palm on your left hand and stretch. So the yogis of ancient times, of a long time ago, isolated themselves. So, and they detached themselves from their lives. So this is a huge contrast to the type of yogis that we are. The householders, the yogis that still have interactions with other people. So it's a lot easier to practice ahimsa, non-violence, when you're not around anybody. Take another breath back into child's pose. And then push yourself up. Take your legs out in front of you. And just shake out your legs for a moment here. So in the real world, we're interacting with all kinds of people. And we are interacting with people with different views than us. We shouldn't feel like we have to keep our mouths shut in order to make other people feel comfortable, in order to not have confrontation. Take your feet over to the left. Turn your chest to the right, and then lay on top of your right leg. And breathe. Take another long, slow breath here. Use your hands to push yourself away from the floor. Move your feet to the opposite side. Turn toward your left leg and fold. So it's important that we take the time to listen to our inner dialogue. And that process might include even writing down some of the thoughts that we have and really getting to know ourselves and our own views, knowing where we stand and what we need to learn still, questioning ourselves, questioning what we believe and what we know to be true, so that we can always evolve. We can always get better at being good. Take another deep breath here. And use your hands to push yourself away from the ground. And find your way onto your back. If you need to grab anything to keep you warm or comfortable, we are headed towards Shavasana land. Draw your knees into your chest, either hold onto your shins or wrap your arms around your legs and rock from side to side. And then interlace your fingers around your right shin and kick your left foot straight ahead. Really pull your right leg into you as you stretch your left leg away. Breathe. Take a deep inhale. And then exhale, switch sides, bringing your left thigh towards you, stretch your right leg away. Really pull your left leg in as you stretch your right foot forward. Continue to feel into yourself, feeling your breath, listening to your thoughts. Bring your right knee in. Take your knees out wide. Lift your feet above your knees and hold on either to your ankles or the pinky side edges of your feet. Not really a much more vulnerable pose than this one. Happy baby pose, rock from side to side. Okay, and then from here, if there's another pose that you feel like you need to do, you can begin to do that now. Otherwise, stretching into Shavasana. If your lower back isn't happy about that, you can place your palms on the floor and slide them underneath your butt. And just lay on your hands if that feels more comfortable. Really any position that you can rest in for a few minutes completely without having to think about your body really. You can let your deep breathing start to go now. And just take a moment here to really absorb all the things. Notice what you're thinking about. Or what you're not thinking about. Notice what you're feeling. Start to bring some movement back to your body. Doing any last stretches that sound good and feel necessary. In the next breath or so, find your way back up to your comfortable seated position where you can sit up tall with very little effort. Close your eyes and just take a moment as you're sitting up tall to check back in with yourself. If you remember at the beginning of class how you were feeling, what you were experiencing, notice how that's different now, or it might be the same. So Ahimsa, nonviolence. It's not that simple. Life is not that simple. Sometimes the nonviolent thing to do is to become violent. Violent in your efforts. Using that energy that drives us, the fire that burns, to take action, to do what we know is right, even when it's uncomfortable. You can leave your hands where they are, bring them together in front of your heart. If they're in front of your heart, press your thumbs into your heart and your heart into your thumbs. Together 3 more times, we'll chant the Gayatri Mantra. Just as a reminder, that's Loka, Samasta, Sukhino, Bhavantu. And then again, we'll end with Om. Take a deep inhale. Loka, Samasta, Sukhino, Bhavantu. Loka, Samasta, Sukhino, Bhavantu. Loka, Samasta, Sukhino, Bhavantu. Loka, Samasta, Sukhino, Bhavantu. Thank you so much for doing yoga with me today, especially with this specific theme. Thank you for your solidarity. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for pushing yourself to do something. Namaste.